3-0 shutout. I'd be in a really good mood too, man. Great job tonight, Devin.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate that.
How you feeling? I mean, could you have done that any better? Or I know you always critique yourself.
It could have been better. It could have, always we could do a little better. But I'm super happy with how my camp went, how the fight went, how fight week went. It was a W, and that's what I wanted. A finish would have been good, but we just weren't quite there. That was a super tough opponent. So yeah, it was a scrappy fight. It was a tough fight.
All right, you mentioned it real quickly. Let's elaborate on that. How was this fight week? How was camp? Everything leading up to it?
It was a great camp, at Team Elevation, Denver, Colorado. We pushed it hard this time, and the camp was a little bit longer, so we got to dial in a little bit more, and that's kind of those differences you're seeing with the striking and stuff. And we caught the opponent a couple times with some really good strikes that I think changed the fight. And then, mixing that up with the wrestling and trying to get to the hips, he had really good takedown defense. So, and being tall, long legs, he didn't fall for all my traps. But, yeah, it was overall a good camp, good fight week. The weight cut went flawless. It was almost like there was no weight cut. And I was in the sauna for, 40 minutes total.
Wow, all right.
Yeah. So it was good.
And you know what? Speaking of your hands, the boxing looked good. You were setting up things, and that really enabled you to get the wrestling game plan going. Because when somebody gets hit, you're like, okay, now I'm gonna dive for a leg or two, but then you went into your world for reals.
Yeah, and then when you go for the legs and the head's open, and switching back and forth between those two, that kind of it's a tiring game to defend. It's super hard to defend, and we can be really good at it. And I know I can be even better at it. We're just going to keep getting better, get back in the lab.
Yes, sir. The left high kick was there. I saw it a couple times land. Why'd you get away from it?
It's tiring throwing a left high kick, man. But it's a kick that I like, and you never know. You might see it a little more. I'm not the best at it. Wink, wink, but. No, it's a fun kick, and I did see that it was landing a little bit, but at the same time he's got weapons too, so it's got to, something got to work on.
What surprised you? Give me a little something you're going to be on Monday morning.
What's that?
What surprised you about your opponent on Monday morning? You're like, okay, we got to drill this because he exposed a little something. I got to tighten that up.
Just being a little bit quicker on my transitions, on the cage and stuff like that, defending certain underhooks and overhooks and. Yeah, just being a little more lively when I get my back on the cage, stuff like that.
Very nice. You don't look banged up at all. Any cuts? How soon do we get you back in here? I'm going to ask you about the names. Just give me a date. How soon do you want to get back in? Forget the name.
Who knows? I'm going to go home, rest up, spend time with my family. I've been away from my family for a while. Like I said, this was a longer fight camp. So spend time with my family, and once we're all ready to fight, then we'll schedule something.
Very good. And I'm sure they're happy with the results.
Yeah.
Congratulations on the win. Look forward to the next one.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned your striking. Is that where you feel like you've improved the most since maybe the last couple fights?
Yeah. I'm working a lot with Vinny Lopez. He's my striking coach, and just being in the right position is huge. And I felt the difference tonight. And being able to go out there and not have to think about where my positioning is and stuff like that, and just be able to throw those hands and let them connect. It proved to me that that's making a difference. My feet are in the right place, and I'm able to land, especially on a guy that's 6'4". He's got range on me and stuff like that. So imagine a guy just a little bit shorter. Some of those could have been a knockout.
And you talk about, not really have to think about your striking. Often we hear fighters come in here and talk about how they just want to get into that flow state.
Yeah.
Did you feel like you hit into that moment tonight? Do you feel like you're getting more into that point?
Yeah. We're just getting warmed up, and I've been in the UFC almost 7 years now, but it's just one of those things. I'm 32, about to be 33, and I feel like I'm moving into my prime. And the big thing about it, I have to work hard to accomplish what I want to accomplish. It's not going to be overnight. It's not going to be one win and we're good. We have to keep working and keep getting better. I'm not being hard on myself or nothing like that, but I know I can be better, and I know because I want to be champion. So I know I have to put that work in, and I can't settle for this win. I have to want all the wins.
Yeah, I could appreciate that notion too. Yeah, and you look at your record. I mean, you've had a couple. You go through something that sometimes these cycles, win, loss, but they're tough opponents. So how do you capitalize on this win and keep the momentum moving forward?
They're supposed to be tough opponents, and I just didn't lose to them. That was a tough opponent right there. So it proves to myself too that I can beat these guys. But it's the mental focus in that cage and the way we finished that fight that proves that. We finished that fight. My last fight that I had wasn't good. My mental was not there. So obviously that was a big thing that we worked on, and that's something that has to keep improving and stay steady in that way, because that's where you're getting those wins and losses, and we want all wins.
And you mentioned, being away from the family, and that's got to be tough, But when you get a win like this, does it help, I guess, ease the pain a little bit? The time that you have to, we often forget the sacrifices you guys have to make to put on these fights.
Yeah, absolutely. We're always aiming for a win, and especially when I'm away from my family and sacrificing that time. My daughter, she's 9 years old, and she's missing me, and I know that's. But she knows I'm out here and I'm trying. And like I said, the win proves that too. And so it does make it better when we win. Absolutely. And I always love proving to her that Daddy is a fucking winner. I'm a fucking winner, and I'm going to stay a winner.
Obviously, it's a little bit later at night, but I was going to say, who gets the first phone call typically? Would she get a phone call now? But I mean, obviously, it's a little bit later, but
yeah.
Who gets the first phone call after a win like this?
So I was on the phone with my mom first, because my dad makes the calls. Then my mom, called my wife, and my daughter was sleeping. My wife tried to wake her up, but I guess she wouldn't wake up. So she'll get some good news in the morning.
That's awesome. I guess just looking at the rest of the year, what sort of goals are you setting for yourself, and what would make this year successful for you?
Just winning, man. Like I said, I want to win, and I don't care who I fight next. I want to win. It doesn't matter. I want to make my way up to the top. I'm not getting any younger, but I'm getting better.
Congrats on the victory.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Anybody else?
Back here. Congrats on your victory.
Thank you.
You mentioned you get to get a dog now.
Yeah.
Do you have a name already picked out for it?
Well, his name's Luca right now. He's 4 months old, so I think we have time to change it. So I don't really like the name Luca, but yeah, he's a 4-month-old, and he's a big boy. So golden retriever.
Yes, sir. Congrats.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank y'all.